chosen ones. This message you're about to hear is for selected few. I advise you to pay close attention and listen carefully. There is a pull on your spirit because heaven has been whispering your name, calling you to rise, calling you to remember who you are. I speak to you as one sent to stir what has been sleeping inside you, to wake the strength you forgot you carried, and to remind you that you were chosen long before you ever knew the weight of that calling. Today is a turning point for every hidden wound, every quiet heartbreak, every unanswered question that has pressed on your soul. The chains you have carried were never meant to define you, and the lies the enemy planted in your heart are losing their grip even as you hear these words. You were set apart for something greater, something brighter, something higher than the bitterness that tried to bury you. You were created for freedom, and freedom is calling your name right now. The time has come to release what has held you back for far too long. Some pains have lingered because you kept them close, believing that holding on would somehow protect you. Some chains remained unbroken because you wrapped your hands around the very hurt that scarred you. But listen closely. Bitterness is not your inheritance. Unforgiveness is not your identity. You belong to the living God who knew you before you ever took your first breath, who spoke destiny over your life before you ever faced your first battle. Scripture says in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This truth stands over you even now. You were chosen and you were known. You were loved before you understood love, and forgiven before you learned the meaning of grace. So hear this. It is time to let go. It is time to release the weight that has pressed against your purpose. Bitterness steals more than joy. It steals clarity. It steals peace. It steals the movement of God in your life. Many have cried out to heaven, asking why the doors remain shut, why the blessings feel delayed, why the answers seem trapped behind a wall. You have prayed, you have fasted, you have pressed forward with everything inside you, yet you remain stuck in the same painful cycle. But there is a spiritual truth many overlook. Bitterness builds a barrier that even the strongest prayer cannot ignore. Hebrews 12:15 warns us to see to it that no root of bitterness grows and causes trouble. A bitter root spreads quietly, reaching into every part of life until relationships strain, joy fades, vision clouds, and blessings slip through your fingers. You cannot walk in the fullness of grace while holding poison in your heart. And yes, bitterness is poison. It contaminates everything it touches. But a heart filled with grace cannot be a home for bitterness. You were chosen to carry grace, not grudges. You were selected to reveal the love of God, not the wounds that tried to break you. You were designed to shine with mercy, not to relive the echoes of past hurts. What has held you cannot hold you any longer. What has weighed you down must be released. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is strength, it is courage, it is your path to freedom. And as you take in these words, something in your spirit already knows this is truth. Something in you knows that today is a moment of release. Matthew 6:14 teaches that if we forgive others, our Father in heaven forgives us. This is not a suggestion. It is a principle woven into the foundation of spiritual freedom. When you forgive, you unlock what heaven has been holding for you. When you release the person who wounded you, you release yourself. When you drop the bitterness, blessings begin to move toward you again. What you lost cannot compare to what God is ready to give you. What hurt you cannot outweigh what is waiting on the other side of forgiveness. And even now, heaven leans near, ready to restore what bitterness tried to steal. You are chosen for more than survival. You are chosen for transformation. You are chosen to rise. And this journey begins right here with the courage to let go. Some of you have been asking why breakthrough feels so far away, why the prayers you whisper night after night seem to hang in the air without an answer. The truth is simple, although it is not always easy to face. Unforgiveness blocks the flow of heaven. It holds back blessings the way a dam holds back a river. You have carried bitterness like a weight across your shoulders, and that weight has slowed your steps more than you realize. Every grudge you keep is another stone in that burden. Every memory you cling to is another chain around your spirit. Many are asking God for healing while refusing to release the hurt. Many are asking for restored relationships while guarding bitterness in their heart. Many are asking for financial breakthrough while refusing to surrender resentment that has rooted itself deep inside. God wants to bless you, but He will not pour fresh water into a vessel filled with poison. Matthew 6:15 states clearly that if we refuse to forgive, we block the forgiveness of God in our own lives. This is not punishment, it is spiritual order. God created our hearts to flow with mercy. When we shut that flow down, we shut down His flow in us. Healing waits on forgiveness. Peace waits on forgiveness. Favor waits on forgiveness. And for many listening right now, this is the one key you have been missing. Look at what Jesus taught in Matthew 18 when He spoke of the servant forgiven of an impossible debt, who then refused to forgive another man of a small one. The king in the story was furious, not because the servant owed him anything, but because he refused to extend what he had already received. Forgiveness received must become forgiveness given. Otherwise, the blessing collapses under the weight of selfishness. And Jesus warned that the same measure would be applied to us. But do not let fear grip you. Let truth free you. God is not calling you to forgive so that the one who hurt you walks away untouched. He calls you to forgive so your spirit can breathe again. Unforgiveness builds a prison where you are the only prisoner. Forgiveness breaks the lock. Forgiveness does not justify what was done. It simply removes its power over your future. The Bible reminds us in Colossians 3:13 to forgive just as the Lord forgave us. This is not a suggestion. It is a path toward freedom. And that path is opening before you right now. You can almost feel the shift inside, a heaviness lifting, a quiet voice reminding you that you have carried this long enough. Bitterness produces anger. Anger produces resentment. Resentment produces spiritual blindness. Soon, you no longer see God's goodness. You no longer see hope. You no longer recognize the blessings that were meant for you. But today, something different is happening. Light is breaking through the cracks. Your heart has been guarded for so long that you forgot what it felt like to hope for more than survival. Yet, here you are, listening to a message that speaks directly to the part of you that still believes in redemption. Ephesians 4:31 tells us to remove bitterness, anger, and slander from our hearts, not to hide them, not to manage them, to remove them. That means they do not belong in you. They were not designed for you. They cannot stay if you want to walk in the fullness of what God has prepared for you. It takes strength to forgive, and strength is exactly what God is awakening inside you. You are not weak for wanting to heal. You are not soft for wanting peace. You are wise. You are discerning. You are being prepared for something greater. Think about this. The enemy wants you bitter because bitterness blocks your vision. He wants you angry because anger steals your clarity. He wants you wounded because wounded people doubt their purpose. But God is lifting you out of that darkness and into a place where you can finally see what He has been trying to show you for years. Isaiah 61 verse 1 says that God sent His Spirit to heal the brokenhearted and set the captives free. That freedom is reaching you now. You may not feel it fully yet, but something is shifting inside. Chains are getting loose, walls are starting to crack. You can sense that God is moving, and you know deep in your spirit that this message is not here to inspire you for a moment. It is here to transform you for a lifetime. Bitterness has no right to stay. Unforgiveness has no right to stay. Pain has no right to dictate your destiny. You are chosen for freedom, and that freedom is closer than you think. The more you listen, the more your spirit opens. The more your heart responds. The more you realize you do not want to live another day chained to what God is telling you to release. You were not created to live heavy. You were created to live whole. You may not realize how much unforgiveness has cost you. It has stolen nights of rest and replaced them with heavy thoughts that echo long after the world has fallen silent. It has pressed itself into your relationships, coloring your reactions and shaping your words. It has caused you to guard yourself even against people who were sent to bless you. It has kept you replaying the past when God has been trying to point you toward the future. The cost is too high, far higher than anything you ever imagined. And yet, right now, God is offering you a different path. One where peace becomes your home. One where joy becomes your normal. One where blessings flow again without obstruction. But it begins with forgiveness. Joseph in Genesis knew what it meant to be betrayed. His brothers handed him over not to strangers, but to slavery. He walked through abandonment, false accusations, and years where it seemed God was silent. Yet, when he finally faced the brothers who broke him, he did not lift a hand in anger. He spoke life. He offered mercy. He released what could have poisoned his heart. Genesis 50:20 records his words. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. That is what forgiveness sounds like. It is the voice of someone who refuses to let pain dictate destiny. Someone who understands that God can turn even betrayal into purpose. And just like Joseph, your destiny is waiting on the other side of release. Think about this carefully. Many people never walk into the fullness of what God planned because they never let go of what wounded them. They keep the past close while asking God to bring something new. But Isaiah 43:18 reminds us not to dwell on former things because God is doing something new. New cannot grow in soil filled with bitterness. New cannot bloom in a heart filled with resentment. To walk forward, you must release backward. God is ready to open doors that have been locked for years. He is ready to restore what bitterness delayed. He is ready to breathe life into dreams you thought were gone forever. But He will not build your future on a foundation cracked by unforgiveness. He is healing that foundation right now. He is strengthening what was weak. He is softening what went hard. He is guiding your heart back to the place where it can receive again. Some listening right now are standing on the edge of breakthrough, so close that you can feel the shift in the air. Yet there is one final barrier blocking the full release of God's promise. A wound that you have kept hidden from others but carried quietly in your spirit. God sees it. God knows it, and God is asking you to trust Him with it, not because the pain was small, but because your destiny is bigger. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it is a decision. It is an act of spiritual courage that says, my future matters more than my memory of pain. It is a step of faith that says, I refuse to let what hurt me keep my life on hold another day. Jesus taught in Luke 6:37 that if we forgive, we will be forgiven, and if we release, we will be released. Heaven responds to release. Heaven moves when you let go. Heaven opens when you surrender what was never meant to stay. And the moment you forgive, something powerful happens. The bitterness that once felt permanent begins to lose its strength. Thoughts that once consumed you start to fade. Emotions that once controlled you begin to quiet. The heart that felt heavy begins to feel light again. What was numb begins to feel. What was broken begins to mend. What was lost begins to return. You are not losing anything by forgiving. You are gaining everything that bitterness tried to steal. The Holy Spirit is working deeply in you right now, reaching into places you have not touched for years. He is lifting burdens from memories you thought were beyond healing. He is touching the wounds that shaped your behavior more than you realized. He is restoring your identity where pain tried to rewrite it. And as He works, you will begin to feel something you have not felt in a long time. Hope. Not the fragile kind, but the steady kind. The hope that reminds you that the story is not over. The hope that whispers your best days are ahead. The hope that pulls you toward the life you were born to live. Psalm 147 verse 3 says that God heals the brokenhearted and binds their wounds. That healing is happening now. Some wounds heal suddenly, some heal slowly, but all heal when placed in the hands of God. And your heart is in His hands at this very moment. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. Forgiveness is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of your freedom. As you let these words settle in your spirit, something inside you is already beginning to change. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but your heart feels the stir. The tightness you carried for years is loosening. The heaviness you thought was normal is lifting. God is preparing you for a level of freedom that you have never walked in before. But for freedom to become your reality, forgiveness must become your choice. Jesus said in Matthew 5:44 to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This command is not given to burden you, it is given to release you. When you pray for those who hurt you, the chains they placed on your heart begin to break. When you speak kindness over people who wounded you, the bitterness they planted loses its power. This is how heaven heals, not by erasing the past, but by removing its control over your future. Some of you have been carrying resentment for so long that it became part of your personality. You learned to live guarded. You learned to live with walls instead of trust. You learned to smile through pain, to laugh through hurt, to survive while wounded. But you were never meant to live that way. God created you for joy, not numbness, for peace, not pressure, for freedom, not fear. When you hold on to bitterness, you are trying to carry what only God can carry. You were not built for that weight, and the strain of it has shown up in ways you did not even recognize. Stress, anxiety, a short temper, a restless mind, sleepless nights. These are not random struggles. These are symptoms of a heart that has been carrying pain for too long. But healing is coming. You can feel the shift. You know that this message is not passing by you, it is speaking directly to the deepest part of your soul. And that is because God is calling you to a new level of freedom. The Apostle Paul wrote in Romans 12:21 to overcome evil with good. That is what forgiveness does. It replaces the poison of bitterness with the strength of goodness. It changes you from the inside out. It restores what hurt tried to destroy. It realigns your spirit with the heart of God. And once you walk in forgiveness, something powerful happens. The enemy loses access. Bitterness was his entry point. Anger was his foothold. Resentment was his weapon. But when forgiveness fills your heart, those doors close. The darkness that once felt so close begins to fade. Peace begins to settle. Clarity begins to return. God begins to speak again. You begin to hear him again. You begin to sense his presence in places where bitterness once blocked your vision. There are blessings that have been waiting for this moment, blessings that were on pause because unforgiveness stood in the way. But now the way's opening. The spiritual dam is cracking. The waters of heaven are beginning to move. God is ready to pour out favor in ways that overwhelm you with his kindness. You may not see the full flood yet, but the first drops are already falling. Forgiveness makes room for overflow. You are stepping into a new season, a season where what was stolen is restored, where what was broken is rebuilt, where what was lost is returned. Joel 2:25 says that God will restore the years the locusts have eaten. That promise applies to you right now. Bitterness has eaten years of joy, but God will restore. Pain has eaten years of peace, but God will restore. Betrayal has eaten years of trust, but God will restore. Nothing surrendered to God stays broken. Nothing released to him stays wasted. God turns pain into purpose, wounds into wisdom, and sorrow into strength. And right now, heaven is aligning things on your behalf. People who left your life will no longer haunt your thoughts. Memories that once tore you apart will lose their sting. The things that once defined you will no longer control you. You are crossing a spiritual threshold. You are stepping into a future that has been waiting for your yes. A future where you walk lighter. A future where you love deeper. A future where you grow stronger. A future where forgiveness becomes your weapon and grace becomes your language. And as this transformation continues, you begin to realize something profound. You were never the victim. You were always the chosen one, chosen to rise, chosen to lead, chosen to break cycles that have lasted generations, chosen to show others what it looks like to walk in freedom. The pain you endured did not destroy you. It shaped you. It prepared you. It positioned you. And the forgiveness you choose today will unlock the doors to your destiny tomorrow. You are not just letting go of people. You are letting go of limits. You are letting go of lies. You are letting go of everything that was never meant to stay. Forgiveness is your path. Freedom is your promise, and God is walking you into both at this very moment. As you move deeper into this journey of release, something powerful begins to unfold around you. You start to see how every moment of pain brought you to a place of greater strength. You begin to understand why the enemy fought so hard to keep you bitter, because he knew that a heart healed by God becomes unstoppable. The moment forgiveness enters, everything changes. Your posture changes. Your perspective shifts. Your spirit rises. You begin to see people differently. You begin to see yourself differently. Most of all, you begin to see God clearly in ways you could not before. The fog that once clouded your vision begins to lift. The heaviness that once drowned your joy begins to break apart. You start to notice blessings that were always there, but hidden behind the noise of resentment. God's presence becomes more tangible. His voice becomes clearer. His peace becomes your resting place. In this space, something sacred happens. You finally understand that forgiveness is not about becoming weak, but about becoming whole. You realize that the wounds you carry are not evidence of your defeat, but proof of your survival. And God can turn survivors into leaders who carry light into dark places. Psalm 34:18 reminds us that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. He has been close to you all along. You thought you walked through your heartbreak alone, but heaven walked every step beside you. The presence of God did not leave you in your darkest moments. It protected you. It preserved you. It carried you when you could not carry yourself. And now that you're choosing forgiveness, that same presence will lift you to heights you never imagined. Some of you listening right now have been afraid that forgiving would make you vulnerable again. But God says in Nahum 1:7 that He is a refuge in times of trouble and cares for those who trust in Him. That means your heart is not unprotected. It is covered by the God who never loses a battle. Forgiveness is not reopening the door to the person who hurt you. Forgiveness is closing the door on the pain they caused. It does not require reconciliation. It requires release. God handles the justice. God handles the outcome. God handles the battles you cannot fight. Your job is to guard your heart, not with walls of bitterness, but with the peace of Christ. Colossians 3:15 tells us to let the peace of God rule in our hearts. That kind of peace cannot live beside resentment. It needs room. And today you're making that room. With every decision to forgive, you clear space for God's blessings to land in your life. With every bitter memory released, you create space for new joy. With every step toward healing, you step deeper into purpose. Some blessings were delayed because bitterness had taken up the space meant for miracles. Some doors stayed shut because unforgiveness stood in the doorway. But now, as you choose release, heaven begins to move. The atmosphere around you is shifting. The spiritual resistance is breaking. The seeds you planted through prayer, through perseverance, through tears, through faith that refused to die, are finally coming alive. Galatians 6:9 promises that you will reap a harvest if you do not give up, and you have not given up. Even on the days when you felt like you could not keep going, something inside you held on. That was God sustaining you. That was grace carrying you. And now your harvest is near. Some of you will see changes happen quickly, relationships restored, opportunities emerging, clarity returning, peace blooming like fresh rain on dry ground. Others will see changes unfold gradually, a softening of your heart, a lightness in your spirit, a new strength in your steps. But regardless of the pace, the promise is the same. God will complete the work He began in you. Philippians 1:6 assures us of that truth. You are not stepping into healing alone. Heaven is guiding you. Heaven is backing you. Heaven is fighting for you. The chains that held your spirit for years are falling one by one. And soon you will look back and realize that the thing that once tormented you no longer has any power. You will remember the story without feeling the sting. You will think of the past without reliving the pain. You will speak of your journey not with shame, but with strength, because forgiveness has made you free, and freedom is who you were always meant to be. Now that your heart has opened and your spirit is awake, you are ready for what comes next. You are stepping into a moment that heaven has prepared long before you ever knew the weight of your calling. This is where the journey of forgiveness becomes the journey of destiny. God is not simply healing your past, He is positioning your future. The things that once held you down no longer have permission to follow you. You are entering a season where the chains are broken, the heaviness is lifted, and the path ahead is clear. What once felt impossible will soon become your testimony. Jesus said in Mark 9:23 that everything is possible for the one who believes, and your belief is rising even now. Your faith is growing. Your heart is shifting. You are beginning to walk with the confidence of someone who knows God is fighting for them. You are beginning to carry yourself like someone who understands heaven is backing every step. Some of you will feel a peace settle on you tonight. Others will feel strength returning to places in your soul that were empty for too long. Others will experience clarity that was missing for years. But all of you will feel something new, a fresh wind, a fresh hope, a fresh fire, because God is not finished. In fact, He is just getting started. You are chosen, you are called, and nothing the enemy tried can erase the purpose placed inside you. You were born for impact. You were born to rise. You were born to reflect the goodness of God in a world desperate for hope. As this truth becomes real in you, your life begins to change. You start moving differently, speaking differently, thinking differently. You no longer carry the heaviness of yesterday. You no longer walk around guarded and exhausted. You are lighter, you are stronger, you are whole. And now God is ready to pour into you in ways you could not receive before. Blessings that were held back by bitterness are about to flow freely. Doors that were closed because unforgiveness stood in the way are about to open. Opportunities that seemed impossible are about to arrive. Relationships that were cracked by pain are about to be restored with wisdom and grace. The enemy hoped bitterness would stop you, but God has turned it into the very thing that will launch you. You forgave, and now heaven responds. You released, and now breakthrough comes. You surrendered, and now God lifts you higher than you thought possible. Psalm 126 verse 5 says that those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. And you have sown many tears, tears in hidden moments, tears of confusion, tears of heartache, tears of surrender. Heaven has counted every one of them. And now joy is coming. Real joy, lasting joy. The kind of joy that comes from a heart finally free. And as you step into this next season, understand this truth. You are not stepping alone. God walks ahead of you. God walks beside you. God walks within you. His guidance will be your compass. His strength will be your foundation. His presence will be your constant peace. You are stepping into a season where faith becomes sight, where prayers become testimonies, where promises become reality. The future belongs to you because the God of the future holds you. And now, as we close this message, let your heart rise with expectancy. Let your spirit lift with confidence. Let your faith stretch beyond what you have known. You are forgiven, and now you are free. You have released, and now you are ready. You have surrendered, and now God will do what only He can do. Lift your thoughts to heaven for a moment and let this truth settle deep within you. God has more for you than you've ever imagined. He calls you chosen. He calls you loved. He calls you His. And when God calls you, no voice in hell can cancel your destiny. So walk boldly into the days ahead. Walk with grace. Walk with peace. Walk with purpose. Your journey is not ending. It is beginning. And as you carry this message in your spirit, do not keep it to yourself. Share it with those who feel forgotten. Share it with those who are fighting quiet battles. Share it with those who need to know that God is still near and still faithful. You become the voice that awakens hope. You become the reminder that freedom is possible. You become the light that guides others out of darkness. And as you pour out, God will pour back into you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Now breathe deeply and stand tall in your spirit. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is your new beginning. Your heart is healed. Your spirit is strengthened. Your path is waiting. Step into it with courage. Step into it with faith. Step into it with love. You are chosen. You are free. And the best days of your life are about to unfold before you. If this prayer stirred something in your spirit, if the message today spoke into the quiet corners of your life, don't keep it to yourself. Write, "I am seen by heaven, and I will walk in purpose" in the comments below to seal this word over your life. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a message just for you. Until next time, chosen one, walk boldly, walk covered, and walk in truth.